This is a video clip from Americans for Afghanistan Fund started by John Ondrasik of the band Five for Fighting, which is actually a pretty well-known band. And he's quite the patriot. And this is a video called Blood on My Hands. Now, it can be a little tough to watch from time to time, I'm told. I haven't seen it yet. But I want us to take the time to watch it, and then we'll jump in with the usual reprobates and so forth. But we like to make this show a little different. When we find something that's interesting, well, we want to run it. Find something positive, particularly about dogs, we want to run that too. So let's take a look at this. It's about Afghanistan. Go.
Your own intelligence community has assessed that the Afghan government will likely collapse.
That is not true.
It took the Taliban just 1 week to regain control of Afghanistan.
Disaster unfolding very quickly.
This is really an American catastrophe.
Secretary of State Blinken declaring this is manifestly not Saigon.
Afghans who helped the West now fearing for their lives.
10,000 civilians, SIV applicants.
Millions more are left behind.
And then this, an act of utter despair. Several fell from the sky.
Afghan mothers passing their children to American soldiers over an airport wall.
It is insane that there are people holding their American passports.
I can't believe the world abandoned Afghanistan. Our friends are going to get killed. They're going to kill us.
The Taliban now has a list of people who were working for the Americans. This effectively can be turned into a kill list.
It's a suicide attack.
120 people have been injured. 13 U.S. troops are also among the casualties.
We will respond with force and precision at our time, at the place we choose, in the moment of our choosing.
7 innocent children and 3 innocent adults dead.
They assessed what the U.S. had left behind. Taliban forces parading captured American weapons.
Americans also forgot to destroy biometric devices.
Extraordinary success is total failure by the United States government.
These Afghan allies who desperately need our evacuation.
This is a betrayal of the American military.
By doing everything in my power right now to get people out.
Got blood on my hands. Got blood on my hands. And I don't understand what's happening.
For those who remain, we will make arrangements to get them out.
There's blood on these hands. They're still American.
Please, I want you to help me, my family.
Left her the Taliban, and he. Now how's that happening?
Any Afghans may leave the country, including those who work for Americans.
Winking, blinking, can't you look me in the eye?
If they want, and for whatever reason.
Willie, Millie, tell me, when did you decide this will defend? Your sacred motto now means never mind.
This comes down to an issue of will and leadership.
Hands. Got blood on my hands. Got blood on my hands. Flag of the Taliban, and he over Afghanistan. General Austin, is there no honor in shame? Can you spell Bagram without the letters in blame? Did Uncle Joe stick a drip in your vein?
Do you have any regrets about the Afghan withdrawal?
I can't hear her scream. If she's not on TV. I can't hear him scream. and ally that we left behind. Every child who wants no freedom, faces covered and blind is for this American promise. Now shit in the fire. Hands, there's blood on our hands. We just want American. And he asking what's happening.
You once said, America is the light of the world. How do you feel about America now?
America not only has lied to the Afghan people, it's lying to itself. I mean, the betrayal is not the collapse of a system only. The betrayal is about fate of millions of people. I mean, who is going to take the words of this administration and probably the future administration seriously? Who?
Do you have any words for President Biden or former presidents who have all led us to where we are now?
I tell them to ask their children, grandchildren, I ask them their neighbors to write them a piece of one-page history of America and as far as Afghanistan is concerned. That will be like a mirror put in front of them to see the reality of themselves.
Well, God knows what's going on there now. Horrendous things, horrific things. You see how they grab these young men off the street and they hang them by their necks till they're dead. You see what they do to the women there. You even saw some dead children. Because the Taliban really represents about, population-wise, 15% of the country, mostly. The far-off rural areas, mountain people, that sort of thing. And they've been trying to impose their will on the rest of the country for a long time, as you see. And they've succeeded. The vast majority of people in Afghanistan are not of the Taliban. They're not throwbacks to the 7th century. We now get reports that Iran is working with the Taliban in a very significant way. And we also have reports that Biden is giving the Taliban government, as they call it, the regime, over $300 million in aid. I mean, we've got the amateur team out there. They're ideologues. They don't put America first. They don't put our allies first. And this has done grave damage to the people of Afghanistan. This has done grave damage to people who are suffering all over the world under regimes like this. And it's going to do grave damage to the United States of America. Why do you think Putin and Xi and the Islamo-Nazi regime in Tehran and Un in North Korea has launched now 2 missiles? Why do you think they're aggressive? They don't fear us. They don't respect us. And they certainly don't fear or respect Joe Biden. And the more he talks to them directly, the more nervous I get, because it's apparent to them what's apparent to us. He's incapable of being president of the United States. And so the media pushed Biden into the Oval Office, pushed his administration to the Oval Office, does not give it the kind of review and examination and reportage that is necessary to hold them to account. The Democrat Party's all in. They could care less. They're so busy trying to fundamentally rejigger and re-engineer our own society in this country in a horrendous way. They've divided us. They've weakened us. They undermine our military with critical race theory. They undermine our cops. That's a story you're well aware of. And this is the situation we're in right now, a country that's getting weaker, a culture that is splintering, a civil society that's becoming uncivil, and the rest of the world sees it, including our allies. Taiwan sees it. They are under grave threat from communist China, the way Hong Kong was. Israel sees it. They're under grave threat from Iran and Syria. and other enemy countries in that region of the world, it's bad news.
For more, sign up for LEVIN TV.